Hi there. Drupal provides a lot of great built-in SEO features. However, if you would like to bring SEO of your website to a completely new level, you might need to consider a few extra SEO modules. My name is Alex, and let's review SEO modules today. Well, first of all, we would like to start with SEO Checklist and all the modules that are must-have for almost every Drupal website. So SEO Checklist is the module that will allow you to have a straightforward report that you can use in order to configure your SEO, as well as to follow the steps there in order to install all needed modules. So once you install that module at your Drupal website, you will have a form like this. You will have a few different group of tasks like getting started, be efficient, basic SEO part 1, basic SEO part 2, and basically when you will walk through all these steps and complete some of them, because some of them are optional, you will bring your SEO to a completely new level, and your website should be really ready in order to be launched, as well as ranked by SEO and search engines. The next module, which is really essential, is the Google Analytics. Pretty sure all websites in the internet are using Google Analytics in order to track websites' performance, as well as different metrics. So in order to install it, you will need to register an account at Google Analytics, as well as to create a property. And once you install that module at your website, you will need to go and configure it. And the configuration is pretty straightforward. So you will just need to add your web property ID to the Drupal website. So in this way, Google Analytics will know what website you are tracking performance and metrics at. So the next module might be a great add-on to Google Analytics. It's called Google Analytics Reports. So basically, this module allows you to review some of the reports from Google Analytics within the CMS. And this module might be really handy whenever you need to share an access to the report, but you don't want to share access to the whole Google Analytics property and setup. But instead, you would like to see some basic reports in the CMS and share them with other users. The next module is the Siteimprove. So Siteimprove is a third-party service that might help you to improve your content, check content for broken links, for meta tags, some SEO warnings, and stuff like that. However, Siteimprove is this third-party service that might apply some extra fees. So I definitely recommend looking at this module than looking at Siteimprove, but it's up to you whether you would like to use that module or not, because of the extra fees. But this is definitely the module that is worth considering. So the next module is the simple XML sitemap. So basically this module generates a page or multiple pages at your website in order to inform search engines for some content updates, as well as to share the whole list of pages and links from your website with those search engines. So for example, once you install the module, you will be able to control what pages should appear in that file, in the XML sitemap, what are their priorities, and stuff like this. So here is an example of the configuration form. You can rebuild that file, and here is an example of the file. So basically this file is supposed to be used by search engines and other systems. It's not going to be used by humans. Basically we have here a list of URLs, their last modified date, change frequently, and priority. So based on all these links, for example, Google will understand how to rank your pages, and Google will pull content updates and new pages more frequently because they will appear in this sitemap. And here is an example how you might control it. Basically, you will have general settings for the XML sitemap, as well as you can override those settings whenever you create a new page. For example, certain pages you might not list in the XML sitemap. For certain pages, you might increase the priority, you might set up change frequency, as well as to include some images. And you can also regenerate all sitemaps once you published some new content. So once you're done with basic SEO modules and must-have modules that are being used by almost every Drupal website, you can proceed to the next modules that will help you with content management, as well as some basic SEO things related to content. So let's review those modules now. The first one that we wanted to share with you is the real-time SEO for Drupal. This is an extremely helpful module that you can use whenever you create content, and it will help you to come up with a better description, title, and all needed attributes for the content that you create. So once you install that module, you will have an ability in the Drupal CMS to enable it for certain content types, for example, for article and basic page. And then when you will create content or edit content, you will have the real-time SEO for Drupal section. And within that section, you will basically see a preview snippet for Google results. You will be able to specify focus keyword, for example, useful SEO modules, and it will show you the best practices and some of the points that you may need to fix. For example, extend the title, focus more on the keyword and the text, add more headings and stuff like this in the real time. So it's really, really important, and it's really helpful whenever you create new content, and it's pretty easy to install. So the next module is called Similar by Terms, and this is a tiny module that will help you to create a block that will help to display similar content on your website by specific terms. So I'm pretty sure whenever you create a blog post or news article, you add some text to those materials. So this module Similar by Terms will help you to display blog in the sidebar or any other areas of the website with a similar content by those terms. So next module, Require on Publish, basically extremely helpful for content editors or teams of content editors, where you have few stages of content creation. For example, when you create a content or blog post, you don't add all fields, or you might not upload an image, but you still need to save that blog post. So this module allows you to configure some of the fields as not required, but they will be required on publishing. So for example, I have a blog post and I have an image field there. So I specify it as required on publish. And once I check this checkbox and save that configuration, so now whenever I edit the blog post within that form next to the image, I will see this icon. So it will show that this field is not required, but it's required on publishing. For example, if we compare this to the title, in title we have that wildcard that shows it's required. So, and even without this image, I still will be able to save this blog post as a draft. But when I'm ready to publish it, the form itself will ask me to upload the image because it's required when you are publishing specific content. It's really small module that might help you to save some time when images or certain content pieces are not available when you create that content. And the last module for the content editing is the power tagging. So this module might allow you, this is extremely powerful module, and it will allow you to build like a really comprehensive tagging system. However, this module might be extremely complicated in the configuration, as well as it will require setting up some external services. So I recommend you consider this module, review it, but it's up to you to use it because it's really comprehensive and might not be suitable for your specific problem. But at least you should know that there is a module that might help you to set up extremely powerful tagging system that will use files, taxonomy, and content, and build like search engine for all these tags, and index your content within that search engine and within that search database. Well, the next group of modules is intended to help you with the links management, as well as building URLs of your content at the Drupal website. So now let's take a look at them. All right, so now let's review some link management modules. And the first module is the Pathauto. So this module allows you to automatically generate URLs and aliases for your content based on some patterns. So here is an example of the pattern for blog posts. You can add more patterns to your website. Basically, we add /blog/ and then no title for all blog posts. So if we take a look at our blog post, there is a checkbox, and basically I can say that Drupal will need to generate automatically URL alias for this blog post, or I can specify it manually. So it really helps to have a structure and set up a structure of URLs for all your content on the website. So the next module is called Redirect, and it allows you to manage redirects in the CMS whenever you create new content or you update a URL for the old content. Here is an example. I have certain redirects for the blog post, and all these links they will lead to the new URL. It's called usually canonical URL of that content. So it's really useful when you migrate your website, as well as when you just create a lot of content and you change URLs frequently. And next module is Link Checker. This module allows you to scan your website for broken links, internal as well as external links. So once you installed it, you will be able to configure that module and change what exactly should be tracked. And there will be a report that you can find in the reports, and then broken links. There will be a link of broken links of your website. And I really encourage you to fix all of these links because they will affect scoring and ranking of your website. The more broken links you have, lower ranking you will have for your website. Menus attribute, another module that you might use. It's really tiny module, but this module really allows you to specify some attributes for the menu items, for example, class, target, IDs. So if you would like to extend attributes more than class and target, you can always click attributes here, and you will be able to configure some additional attributes that are available for content editors. And the next module is the LinkIt. So this module will allow you to extend your links, internal link search whenever you add a link to your content. So here is an example. When you start typing, there will be an autocomplete, and there will be suggestions based on the content types, files, and etc. So it's really powerful, as well as it will help you to even specify some additional things like title, ID, relationships, open a new window, and stuff like that. And last but not least is the search 404, which will extend your 404 pages with additional search. So for example, if I go to my test website and open 404 page by specifying URL that is not available, basically you will see page not found, but you will be able to use search by keyword, for example, SEO and something like that. And as you can see in the search results, they will suggest some of the content based on the keyword that you entered. So it's not only static 404 page, it's the page with the search, and potentially you might drive people to the needed page that they're looking for instead of just displaying this page is not available. Well, you configured some basic SEO modules as well as content management modules, so it's time to move on to the meta tags modules. So meta tags are essential thing of your website because you will need to tell not only visitors that your content is awesome, but also to search engines some additional information about your content so they will understand how to rank it and other information that they might need. So let's start with the module called Metatag for meta tags management. This is kind of an essential part of every Drupal website because every Drupal website uses that module. Well, in our video, we have so many modules that are being used by every Drupal website, including Metatag. So when you install the Metatag and add it to your Drupal website, you will be able to manage meta tags for some global pages, for example, like homepage, 403, 404 pages, as well as for specific content types. So you will be able to configure meta tags for content types as well as users and other entities that you have in the Drupal CMS. So if you go to the list of modules and search by meta tag, you might find that there are so many extensions to the meta tag module. So I will not go through all of them, but there are certain modules that you might need to consider. For example, Open Graph, Facebook in order to improve sharing of your articles on the Facebook, Twitter cards, Pinterest, and stuff like this. So there are plenty of documentation about all of these modules on Drupal.org, but definitely worth mentioning that in our video. And another great extension to the Metatag module might be Schema.org Metatag, because it will help your website to provide the structured data as JSON LD to the search engines like Google, like Bing, like Yahoo, so they will know a bit more about your website. So here is an example. You may specify headlines, images, URLs to those images, date published, and other properties that are part of the schema.org. This is an extension to Metatag, and I definitely recommend to install it as well as to configure it once, and it will enrich your content with additional information that is required by search engines. And the last but not least is the small tiny module called Hreflang that will tell search engines about the language of your content. So this is an addition. You will need just install it and it will populate everything automatically. Well, it's small, but powerful module that will help you to improve your meta tags on the website. Okay, now it's time to move on to the navigation modules that will help you to improve navigation, breadcrumbs, SEO, as well as user experience. So let's take a look at that. Easy Breadcrumb is a great module in order to build breadcrumbs on the website automatically based on the URL structure. So once you install the module, your Drupal website, you will need to provide some basic settings. But now let's review an example on how it works. So I have a blog post with the basic URL, and the breadcrumbs are the following: home and then name of that blog post. Now let me change the URL from /SEO to blog/best SEO modules and hit save. So as you can see, these changes are being reflected in the breadcrumbs. I have home, then blog, and then the name of the blog posts. The reason why blog is not a link, because there is no page with that URL, but basically when you have the link with /blog post, it will be a link, and you can create as many parts of the breadcrumbs as you want based on the URL. So it's really straightforward and easy to do that. Another module called menu breadcrumb. So this module allows you to control to have more control over breadcrumbs, but then you will have more work to do, because breadcrumbs will be generated based on the menus and their hierarchy. So basically, here is an example of the administration menu, and basically all these nested menu items will be used in order to generate breadcrumbs on the website. So these are most used breadcrumbs modules, and breadcrumbs itself might help you to improve SEO a little bit, as well as to improve user experience, because you will have the path to the homepage based on the content structure that you have on the website. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope all these modules will help you to bring SEO of your website to a completely new level. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.